We're joined now by Lavender Darcangelo. She captured the heart of America on America's Got Talent. She captured Marjorie and my heart and our listeners when she was here with her couple of dads a couple of months ago. Since the show ended, she's been very busy. Well, I was going to say, she's obviously outsourcing. We'll talk about that. Her new album, Mosaic, but she's been a ton of places. She's going to a ton of places. We'll talk about all of that with her in a minute. She's joined by her father, Will Darcangelo, and her other father, Jamie, couldn't be here in person, but he is all over Will's shirt. That's almost good enough. Lavender and Will, we are thrilled to see you both. Welcome back to Boston Public Radio.
Oh, thank you.
Yay,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So, Lavender, a lot of people have watched that show. Tons of people have watched the show, America's Got Talent, Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, and all that. It's a great show. You made it all the way to the finals, which was absolutely spectacular. What was that like, that whole journey? I mean, it was an incredible triumph.
Well, it was surreal because, like, these are things that I have fantasized about since I was about like 4 or 5 years old. So I guess there's a part of me that feels like this isn't really real. This is just you on the couch again. Just like daydreaming. And so, yeah.
You know, I read where you briefly forgot your lyrics. And I think for anybody who either plays an instrument or sings, that's one of the scariest things when you don't have your music in front of you. You can forget. So how did you handle that? That's so nerve-wracking.
It's funny because like I don't know why I blanked out on the words. Like so, like there's like a brief sound check that they do in a way that the audience can't hear, and
right before the performance itself.
Yeah.
And I blanked out on the second line. Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? And I don't know why, because I wasn't even nervous.
The irony of forgetting your lyrics on that line, too.
So I actually went on the show when I did the song on the finale. I was nervous because I was nervous that I would blank out again. But I wasn't nervous because of stage fright.
Yeah.
Well, only tens and tens of millions of people were watching.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just go do tra-la-la-la-la if you forget the line? What is it? What is the
You've
advice?
never forgotten
Yeah,
your
but
lines
that only telegraphs the mistake.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, Will Darcangelo, I got a text from you. You love the dog and the dog owner who
my God.
won?
I couldn't believe
What's the deal with that?
Border Collie.
Adrian and his dog Hurricane were the nicest two people. The dog. But
Not the nicest two people. But I'm bummed.
Actually,
yeah.
and Adrian
The
was
dog
on our semifinals week as well. So we spent like every morning having breakfast with him. Not the dog, but with Adrian. And he's just the nicest guy. Also, the day of the results show, the Lavender and I and a friend of ours spent the whole afternoon waiting for our next call time in sort of the contestant holding area on the day that he actually won the show. And he wanted a souvenir of Lavender for luck. So one of the confetti petals that they blow during, she signed one for him and he tucked it in his wallet.
You know, Lavender, beyond watching you perform and getting to know you a little bit last time you were here, I went on social media after your performance, and I have to say, I don't know if I've ever seen people respond about inspiration from your performance and your life. And, you know, everybody, people in the disabled community, and I know you're a disabled person's advocate extraordinaire, everybody talking about how in some way you actually change their life. What did this mean to you to not just be on that show, but to mean so much to so many people?
Well, it's changing my negative beliefs. I mean, like I grew up not feeling accepted, not feeling loved, and it's awesome that all I have to do to feel loved is to just touch people's hearts and to show people that you will be found because I got found and like just paying it forward. Like it feels really good in my heart to do that.
Well, it should feel really good.
So
Lavender and Will Darcangelo are with us.
I think, is it time for a song?
Yeah, now, did you two write a
so.
song together from what we understand?
Nope.
Well, there's a story to this.
I did,
Yeah.
she said.
Well, and I wrote the bridge to it. She wrote the verse and the chorus. And what happened was the after-school program that I created, The Tribe.
Which is where you two met.
Which is where we met, yes. When I formed that, that's when we met, when Lavender approached me. But a few years into the program, 2 kids died about 6 weeks apart from one another. One from cystic fibrosis and another in a house fire.
Yeah.
And so when that happened, Lavender had always wanted to write music. She had written
So
a
I
little
sat at the
something.
piano and I was like, never had the chance to sing.
It just
I was
kind of
like,
came
okay.
out. And she's like, I have a verse and choruses, like 2 verses and a chorus and stuff, and I'd like to do this song. And I listened to it. I'm like, the only thing this thing needs is a bridge. So I'll add the bridge, and now we sing it together.
And so you're going to sing this
We're
together
gonna sing this
now.
together, yeah.
What's the name of the song, Lavender?
It's called Will I Ever.
Will I Ever, Lavender and Will Darcangelo.
You ready, honey?
Yep. I never had the chance to say goodbye. I never realized how much you really meant to me, till I found that letter saying that you're gone. I could not stop crying, wondering how I'd ever move on. Will I ever hear your voice again? Will I ever hear your laugh again? Do you know how much I miss you, friend, in my heart? You're still here with me. Can we rewind? Let's go back to day one, when our friendship had first begun. You stood up for me, you helped me fight my fears. I wish you were still here. The tears keep falling when I realize you're gone. You're gone. I don't know how, but I know I've got to move on. Whoa, whoa. Will I ever hear your voice again? Will I ever hear your laugh again? Do you know how much I miss you, friend, in my heart? You're still here with me. And everybody knows, not all the pain will go,
Not all the pain,
but all the love remains. Will I ever hear your voice again? Will I ever hear your laugh again? Do you know how much I miss you, friend, in my heart? You're still here with me, in my heart. You're still here with me.
Oh, my God. Lavender
If anybody
and
has
Will
lost
Darcangelo.
anyone, if you've lost anyone due to COVID, whatever it was, that song is for y'all.
Yeah, that
is so beautiful, you two. Congratulations,
that was actually its
Lavender.
broadcast premiere.
Was it?
was
Oh,
it
my
really?
God.
Okay, we're very honored to be the broadcast premiere. Absolutely no
How's
question
the
about
album
that.
gone there, Lavender Darcangelo?
Well, it's going. We're working on some stuff right now.
You
We've
are?
got 2 Diane Warren songs that she's going to be singing
I
one of
know.
them. That's going to be, right now. But then there's a second one that Diane recommended for us. We're going to focus on those first and
Yep.
send those to her and see if she's willing to help out with that. And
Fabulous.
We've got tracks already recorded. And We're still picking
Yep.
songs, right?
Yep, we are.
And what about Las Vegas? I hear you got a
Oh,
big
yeah.
thing going on there pretty soon. What's happening?
Do you want to tell them
Lavender?
about it?
So I got invited to sing at Las Vegas, and I'm doing 4 shows.
4 weeks of shows.
4 weeks of shows. I mean, what the heck?
Little
like,
difference.
Like one in February, one in March. I mean, no, not March.
February,
April,
May,
and
and September. We
September.
got rehearsals in December for
Yeah.
5 days to prepare for it, and yeah, so it's at the Luxor, so you get that great experience.
You know, I'm,
Yeah,
real-
so
I'm really excited because, like, one of the things that I love about AGT that we don't really talk about is, the contestants, like the social aspect of, like just eating breakfast with the contestants. And I think it's important for me to point out that I'm excited about the camaraderie that's going to come with Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the most. I thought it was kind of vicious and backbiting and everybody trying to screw everybody else. And so I was so surprised. And you don't think of Simon Cowell as kind of Mr. Empathy and congeniality.
well.
But you guys have disabused me of that notion. I mean, you seem to have wonderful relationships with the show itself, with the people that ran the show, and the contestants.
It's true. Actually, on the way in, we were talking about, because a reporter had asked about what her most important moment was, and she was trying to come up with a moment that was about the show itself. When I'm like, are you sure that that's your favorite moment? Because I'm pretty sure hanging out in the pool during semifinals week with Lambros
and his sister.
And his sister.
Yep.
That was like more fun for her than anything else. That as exciting as all the performance parts were, it was hanging out with
Because
people.
you're staying in a nice hotel, and you're having a nice breakfast, and you're doing the,
Yeah.
the relaxing and stuff. But
You
for those-
also, I want to talk about camaraderie for a second. All we are is viewers, and we're lucky enough to know you both and Jamie. But watching, I thought the Heidi Klum affection for you was totally real. It is.
It is
isn't
real.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's actually very responsive when we text her. She texts right back, and we're doing a show on our local public access station tomorrow. They're doing this big special at Fitchburg State University with a live audience and everybody.
great.
The Barbara and You show, which Barbara Foster has been doing this show for over 40 years. She's like the longest running television host in the United States. And
she? Wow.
they asked, could maybe Heidi could send in a video for that, and I'm like, okay. I was kind of nervous about overstepping the fact that she gave us her number, but I texted her and I said, I asked, and she's like, of course. She sent it in 20 minutes, along with a selfie of her and her mom, and then chit-chatting with me for a little bit too.
Fabulous.
So it was like, the love was real.
Lavender, last time you were with us when we met you, you talked about your long-term goals, not just your short-term goals, and long-term goals around a school. Could you describe to people what your hope is there?
Well, this is why I went to Cleveland.
We were just leaving last week.
Yep. So I want to create a school, and I don't know if you could say it's kind of unheard of, but it's it's where there's no classes. It doesn't start out with any classes, and it starts out by playing and doing field trips, and then the kids tell us or it doesn't have to be kids. The students tell us what their interests are. Like, oh, what's a worm? Or, hey, I'm curious about why the animals feel why are the animals endangered? Tell me why. And that's what forms a class. And I know that there are a lot of schools that sort of do this, but I want to create a school where you don't graduate, where you could be 42 years old and come here.
And you
still
go where your
graduate when you
curiosity
graduate,
is,
but, yeah.
essentially, right?
Let's say if you lost
Yeah.
your job and you don't know how to earn your keep, but you want to learn some sort of foundation. You need some sort of foundation to get back on your feet.
And was this because school was not what you'd hoped it to have been when you were like in third grade or fifth grade? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was difficult because the Fitchburg public school system did the best they could with what they had to work with, and
Yeah.
the people were wonderful.
Right.
And I worked in the Fitchburg public school system. So did my mother.
Yeah,
She
they're
retired
actually
from
really
there.
cool people. It's just it wasn't what
It was
they
like a
didn't
really
know how to.
traditional Orthodox
Right.
environment, and not all of us, myself included, fit in to a square space
Well, we
like
should
that.
say, and Lavender is obviously a very, very, I say you have autism, but very, very high functioning, obviously, person
Right.
with autism. And you're challenged with your sight. You can't see. So these are things that a lot of times schools don't
No, it
do.
was-
Well, actually, the irony of that, Marjorie, is that I had a lot of support regarding my blindness, a lot of assistive technology,
Yep.
and a teacher who, did things with me orally, a teacher who brailled things for me. So my blindness was fine. But because I am so articulate, that when it came to my comprehension issues, it was more like, well, you're just not listening. You know what I mean? Like, it's
They couldn't really accommodate the autism as easily.
Yeah.
Also, she didn't even
Yeah.
get her official autism diagnosis until after she graduated from high school.
I did get something that was called PDD at the time, and now it's out of date. It's a out of date form of autism. But yeah.
Speaking of schools, could you, Will, tell us again how you all met, how this family came
Yeah,
together?
well, I was a substitute teacher and a mentor at Fitchburg High School. I had gone back there to work because I had been badly bullied when I was a student at Fitchburg High School back in the 80s. And so I thought this was a great way of, like, you know, feeling better about myself and being around kids and maybe facing some of that. And so I wanted to start an after-school program that would sort of address that, but around the music, because I had been a professional singer for many years. And I'd written music and just wanted to record an album, but I didn't want to do it with my jazz ensemble, as wonderful as they were. So I thought if I get together a bunch of, you know, eager kids who might need an opportunity the same way that I did. So we recorded a whole album with like 250 people on it called Strange Among the Different. And when I first started that program, you know, Lavender came right up to me in the cafeteria with her aide, Miss Hill, and she's like, I have perfect pitch. Can I be in your band? And Miss Hill's like, don't brag about that. I'm like, nope, you can brag about that all day.
I remember,
You know?
Will, you had said it's just the same thing as somebody saying that in a resume. Like, that's not bragging.
Oh, yeah, it's not bragging. Your resume's not bragging. I was very happy to know that
Yeah.
she had perfect pitch. I'm like, absolutely. Whether you had perfect pitch or not, you'd be welcome to be in the tribe.
Well, you know, Will, before you guys sing again, or Lavender sings again, I hope now that we are seeing so many more children diagnosed with autism that things have improved, that
Oh,
we
yeah.
are much better at
Well,
dealing
we
with
were
these.
really surprised. Like Lavender mentioned that we were in Cleveland last week. We went to the YAS Educational Prize, their gala that they have every year, and they award $1 million grant to education innovation. There were 64 semifinalists there. We were really surprised at how much farther we've come in our understanding
Yeah.
of how to teach people with not just autism, but like ADHD and other types of neurodiversity, that and how much more open it is. And then when you have Lavender coming out saying, actually, I have limitations, I also have gifts. And, you know, be aware that if you met one person on the spectrum, you've only met one person on the spectrum, and we're all different. And so this sort of like diverse need for accommodation, it's okay. It's okay to ask for it when you need it. And
Yeah.
some people like me with, you know, wasn't diagnosed with ADHD until I was 30. I didn't even know that I had needs.
Yeah.
And so we want to be a student at Lavender School as well, because I have things that I'm curious about, and I don't necessarily do well in an orthodox environment. So I'm really encouraged by how the world has moved forward on this issue.
So,
Yeah.
Lavender, in a second you're going to sing by yourself. But what's it like? I have to say, I love hearing you by yourself. I hope
I
you
love
make
the
this the
harmony.
right way.
You're gonna say that?
But when you sing with your father,
Yeah, the
I
harmony.
melt. I cannot. How much do you love singing with Will?
Oh, I love it. I feel like I don't know, it's like meant to be, like this synced feeling.
Yeah, like
Well,
the vibration just works together
It
somehow.
does.
So beautiful and so
I'm
great.
so glad you feel that way.
Oh my
we
God!
feel
So
that way too.
What are you going to
Yeah.
sing for us now, Lavender?
Well, I'll be singing the song that Diane wrote. It's called Only Love Can Hurt Like This.
Before you sing, though, can you hear okay well enough in the headset?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And you have water right in front of you if you want to sip of that.
Yep.
Only Love Can Hurt. Lavender Darcangelo.
I tell myself you don't mean a thing, and what we've got a hold on me. But when you're not there, I just crumble. I tell myself I don't care that much, but I feel like I die till I feel your touch. Only love can hurt like this. Only love can hurt like this. Must have been a deadly kiss. Only love can hurt like this. But it's the sweetest pain, burning hot through my veins. Love is torture, makes me more sure that only love can hurt like this. Oh, oh. and must have been a deadly kiss.
The fabulous Lavender Darcangelo.
We have been speaking and listening, as Jim just said.
Well,
to the
wait,
voice-
before you go, how do we follow you
yeah.
guys? How do we stay in touch? I don't mean we. How does everybody?
And
We're
the
on
Go-
all the socials. Right?
You are.
And
Yeah.
the GoFundMe for the album, too. Tell me about that.
Yeah, the GoFundMe's going really well. We've exceeded our goal, and so everything that people donate, and they can find that. They can just Google, Lavender and GoFundMe. You can find the link to that.
It's also on the website.
And it's on the website, too.
LavenderDarcangelo.com.
Right. We can remember that, I think.
LavenderDarcangelo.com, and you can find all of the links to the social media there. She's Twitter, Instagram, and
I
Facebook,
started
of course.
a TikTok recently.
And a TikTok,
so,
even
TikTok.
that, yes.
Yeah, we're covered.
You were covered, yeah. So
Okay.
it's great. We love being in touch with everybody, too.
Lavender, I want to tell you, I hope this means something to you because it means something to me. If I had to pick one segment that we've done in the last year that I would like to do over and over again every day, it's when you're here with your dad or dads. This is just so wonderful. You are
Yeah, thank you so much.
spectacular, and we can't thank you enough for
much.
coming
Yeah.
down
Amazing.
today. And Will, we love seeing you too.
I'm so glad
Beautiful.
to be here. This is just such a special thing to do. We are
Well,
big fans of you guys.
Come back soon, and we're big fans
We
of
will.
yours. Will and Lavender Darcangelo, and tell Jamie he looks great on the shirt.
I will.
want you to know, okay?
Yeah. And Lavender, of course, was a finalist in America's Got Talent. She's a disability rights advocate and all-around big-time star
Is she
with her
ever.
very fabulous father, Will. Thank you again
Thanks,
for
you
coming
too.
in.